Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. You know, I would say 99% of the time it's kind of nice and fun running a tennis shop like this. But sometimes there's just some ridiculous, crazy off the wall things that I get asked to do. And sometimes people don't listen to when I tell them that it's just not possible. Let's just quickly talk about what is possible. Me drinking my cup of coffee right now. That's what's possible. Thank you everybody out there for supporting my coffee habit. It's actually worse than my beer habit. But everybody's been telling me, you lost weight? And I'm like, I don't think so. But they're like, no, you look good. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I mean, that's not what the scale says. But thank you. And the other thing is, now that we're going more maskless, people are saying, oh, don't I know you? I'm like, yeah, thanks for watching. So thank you everybody for giving me a shout out when you see me. Don't be shy. If you see me, say hey. I'd love to see and hear all your pretty faces. All right. Thanks for the coffee again. So today I'm going to talk about some of the off the wall things that people have asked me in my 33 years of being in this wonderful tennis business. I'm going to start by talking about strings, actually. Let's grab the one I need here. So, parents usually ask this one. They're like, oh yeah, my kid just broke a string. Okay, just like that cross right there. Okay? And they say, oh, can you just replace the cross? And I'm like, it's possible, but I don't recommend it. And they're like, just do it then. And I'm like, your racket might crack if I do that. And they're like, no, you should just do it. And I'm like, do you understand what you're asking me? Basically, what I have to do is I have to put this on the machine at the way it is, just like this, right? Tighten up the clamps to hold this racket in, like tight. Cut the crosses only, which means there will be tension only on the mains, if there's tension on the mains, because it's been used, okay? And then just string the crosses. Given that it's a two-piece string job. If it's a one-piece string job, that's going to be even way harder, okay? But let's assume that it's a two-piece string job, which this is. So then I proceed to string it. What happens? Well, you lost a ton of tension on the mains already, and I'm giving it new tension on the cross. It's gonna compress this way, right? And probably make the racket look longer and taller, because there's only pressure going this way, okay? It's pushing this together, and not enough tension is going the other way, right? What's gonna happen? The racket isn't liking this one. So I insist on not doing this, but the mother insists on doing this. So I finally ask, do you play tennis? She's like, no. And I was like, do you understand what you're asking me? Yes. So obviously she's saying that she wants to just save a little bit of money. That's what she's asking me, okay? And I told her, I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to charge you the same thing. because I still have to string it. And it's not good for the racket. So after like half an hour of arguing back and forth, we do it. I was like, okay, it's your racket. Okay, I'm telling you, you shouldn't, but okay, I'll do it. So I have my guys do it, and I tell them, I walk them through it. We string the crosses. The thing that I did notice is it was a poly on the main and a synthetic on the cross. So we just replaced the synthetic. What happens now? The main breaks because there was wear in there. Like within a week, she comes back. She's like, oh, the main's broke. I'm like, well, now you got new crosses, and then you got new mains, old mains. Of course the mains are going to break. So the next request is, let's replace my mains. I'm like, lady, you're crazy at this point. So I go on and explain to her that I can't replace just the mains. She didn't understand that at all either. The reason I can't, it's not that I don't want to, it's it physically cannot be changed. So not only is the mains tied to the mains, which actually makes it possible, but the cross start knot is anchored to the main. And therefore, if that is true, as soon as I cut this main out, this will lose tension on the cross because it'll just go right through that knot. So that is physically not possible. She goes and argues with me over it again and again. And I was like, lady, this ain't gonna work because I can't be stringing half the racket. And she goes on to tell me, oh, somebody else said it was possible. I was like, yeah, go take it to somewhere else then. So good thing I only had to deal with her for maybe 6 months to a year, back and forth. But yeah, guys, don't just change the crosses. That's a ridiculous request, okay? So that's my first experience. Second experience is actually like, actually, let's do this one. I get a lot of requests for changing these head guards out, these old pro staffs. Now, from my knowledge, there's at least 3 different head guards with 3 different serial numbers for these rackets. So if it ain't the right serial number, it ain't gonna fit. So people like to bring me head guards thinking they know what they got, whether it be these or even arrows and pure drives, not knowing what they bought. They're very, very specific most of the time, and they're not universally fitting. I mean, if you're off like a millimeter or 2, it won't go in. So if you're changing head guards, make sure you get the right one, because if it's not it ain't going in. And if I rip this head guard out, or if you rip this head guard out, which some of you have messaged me, like, I took the head guard out and I can't get it back in. I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have taken it out in the first place if you don't know what you're doing, okay? So don't touch that. The other request that people ask me is, oh, they hand me a head guard and they hand me a freshly strung racket. Can you change this head guard out? I was like, you just strung this racket. Like, yeah, can you change it out? Not without cutting the strings. Oh, how's that possible? I was like, do you see that the strings are over the head guard and holding the head guard down? Oh, yeah. Yeah, bring it back to me when you need a string job. Okay? Now, I've talked to you about these handles before, right? I still get a request once every couple months. I bought too big of a racket. grip size, or my dad gave me his 5/8 grip. Can you shave this down for me? No, I can't shave it down for you. But if you want to try, you can do so. As you can see, this is cast foam, right? It's a hard foam though. Look at how thick that is. You can feel the edges on this thing. You would have to spend a lot of time to get it perfect, and you still probably won't. You would pretty much have to get like sandpaper or something, go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, like this. Literally just shave one side at a time like this to even get it close to being even. If you were to just roll it and do this deal, you're just going to get a nice round grip out of this. So if you really want to, go for it. But eventually you're going to run out of a grip, and it will be bare nothing. You'll be touching the racket itself. This can crack and can disintegrate. So I don't suggest you doing that. Probably getting a racket that's in your grip size would be the better thing to do. Or putting 2 overgrips on or something else, but don't shave it. Cracked racket right there. Okay. Can I crazy glue that? Can you fix that for me? Can you crazy glue that for me? Can I duct tape that? I guess so. I mean, it ain't gonna feel like a solid, single sphere of a racket. But if you really want to, I mean, you can play with this until the end if you want to. The end meaning this literally cracks all the way around and it kind of comes apart, basically going, like that, like a broken bone, like this. But yeah, no, rackets can't be fixed, guys. We can't put a perfect circle back together again. At this point where you can see the crack all the way around, it's definitely time to throw this one away and get a new racket. Yeah, you don't want it like in this state either, because it's actually not good for your body. You could get this stuff in your skin, which is definitely not healthy for you. So at this point, it's garbage. It's garbage. Okay, so guys, those are some of the ridiculous requests that I've had, and I've had multiple requests like this. This is not once in a blue moon. It's actually a couple times a month that I get asked this sometimes. So trying to explain it is a little difficult. People just kind of don't understand the concept of what a racket is and what we can really do with it to fix certain things. So, but now you're educated, don't ask those questions. All right. Got my special guest today, Little Tush, who I see almost every week with these 395 V cores. And my man's going to take you out today. Take me out.
Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.